In the latest update that went live, new legend voice lines have been added when legends reach certain locations. These voice lines give hints about past story, past relationships, and what I want to do today is showcase all of these messages and tell you what they are about and give some backstory and insight into what they mean. There are a number of different voice lines for Wraith, Wattson, Bangalore, Gibraltar, and Bloodhound right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they add more in the future. So we're going to cover stories about Gibraltar's boyfriend, Wattson's encounter with Ghost Wraith, Bangalore's involvement with the IMC, and tons of other little things. So let's jump straight into it. First, I want to share today's sponsor. Before we continue, I want to talk about Surfshark, today's sponsor. They've partnered with me to offer a really great deal for their VPN. If you've surfed around enough, you probably already know about Surfshark because they're pretty well respected already, but let me fill you in. So a VPN is basically a service that will send your data through an encrypted tunnel. Your data goes through and you come out looking like a different person from a different country to any servers or websites you connect to. Sounds weird, but it keeps your data online private and allows you to access content otherwise unavailable. Want better Netflix or Disney Plus content that's unavailable in your country? Surfshark's your pal. When The Mandalorian dropped in the US earlier than the UK, I wasn't going to wait around and a VPN helped with that. Surfshark isn't there just for the typical VPN stuff either. You can use it quickly to find if your passwords have been exposed in data breaches, or use a true incognito browser search that has no cookies or tracking, unlike most incognito features in browsers. You can use code TGM for an 85% discount and 3 months extra for free. Oh, and if you don't like it, there is a 30 days money back guarantee. Check the link in the description to try Surfshark out. So what do we know about these voice lines and how can we piece together the story behind them? Well, what I'm going to do is go through each legend's current location based lines and explain the story, and this information will be based on facts given in-game through loading screens or previous trailers or anything else of that sort. This is going to be canon lore and no theories here, so everything you're about to hear is going to be pure facts. So let's start with Gibraltar and his boyfriend Nicolas. First, let me play through the different voice lines that can trigger when you get near the area near Thunderdome.
Keep expecting to see Thunderdome. First job, first love. The world keeps spinning in place. Wish time would do the same, my brothers. Got a lot of memories of Skull Town and Thunderdome. Did a lot of growing up here. This one hurts, brothers. Don't think I'll ever get used to not seeing Thunderdome. Feels like yesterday I met Nick here. Until we meet again, Nicholas, I hope you have forgiven me.
So who is Nicolas? What's Gibraltar's story with Thunderdome, and what has Gibraltar done for Gibraltar to seek forgiveness from Nicolas? Well, let's go into that story. It happened a long time ago before Gibraltar joined the Apex Games. We don't know what happened to Nick and Gibraltar, but we do know that there was a bit of an accident. This is what was taken from the EA website. He only began to understand the value of protecting others when he and his boyfriend stole his father's motorcycle, took it on a joyride, and got trapped by a deadly mudslide. His parents saved them, and his father lost an arm in the process. Gibraltar has never forgiven that sacrifice and has devoted his life to helping those in need. So we don't really know what happened to Nicolas. It seems like he's still alive, so maybe we'll understand this story later on. Obviously, Gibraltar has a big emotional connection to Thunderdome because this is kind of where he spent time with Nicolas and where he built memories. It's where he had his first job. The Thunderdome was essentially like a gladiator arena. It was the predecessor to the Apex Games. Obviously, with the Syndicate running it, they realized that they could take it further and turn the Thunderdome into what we know now as this incredible, phenomenal event that everybody tunes into. So next, let's talk about Bangalore and her connection with the IMC.
A lot of people trying to make the world a better place down here. But we're not supposed to talk about that. Not every IMC soldier was fighting for the wrong reasons. Some of us were doing some good out there. They want to paint us with the same brush. We're IMC, like that's one hive mind. It's not. We're people too. They forget that. All this IMC research, that could have helped the Outlands. Buried under dirt. What a waste. Word on Gridiron was that these charge towers were meant to supply power to multiple planets one day. Guess we'll never know now. Makes sense they'd have a research facility down here. Especially after what happened with Iris.
So Bangalore was actually an IMC soldier. These are the same people that kind of worked to fight against the militia in the Frontier War. If you play Titanfall, you'll learn more about that and what happened before the Apex Games. But in Titanfall, the IMC are actually the bad guys. They're also the same people who are organized in a group with the Ares Division. The Ares Division are the people that did all the experiments on Wraith, all the experiments underground King's Canyon. So there are some pretty dodgy people in this organization, but Bangalore is sort of just your everyday soldier, you know. She's involved growing up in a military lifestyle. She's learning how to be honorable and listen to orders. And as far as she knows, she's doing good. And through these voice messages, we learned that whilst the IMC at the top may not have been very moral, there were a lot of good people working for the IMC, and of course in any war you get these two opposing factions, but the everyday soldier, you know, they believe in good and they want to do good for the world. So it's really quite interesting how this story is going to develop. Bangalore is kind of, you know, she's involved with the IMC, but she does not agree with the things that went down underground in all of these experiments. For those that are curious, Gridiron is the planet that Bangalore grew up. It was a heavily militarized planet which belonged to the IMC, and if you go to the EA Games website, you can read Bangalore's story and learn more about her past and her brother's involvement with the war and how her brother went missing. There's tons of really interesting stuff there, or you can watch my backstory of every legend video. I put a link in the description for that. We don't know anything about Iris. We don't know if that's a place or a person, but maybe we'll learn more about that in the future. So next, let's take a look at Bloodhound's voice lines.
Something new will grow here, in the hollows the giants left. This leviathan was frightened, and its mate was sure to follow. We may battle without the fear of the giants, but I will miss their calls. This island saddens me. I welcomed the giants' call. The leviathans were disturbed by the tilling of this island, or the explosion. Here Isla drove the giants away. Raw electricity beneath their feet.
So these ones are pretty self-explanatory. Bloodhound obviously is one with nature. Bloodhound is a hunter. We learned a lot about that in these stories from the Outlands video. So yeah, Bloodhound's things just kind of in tune with nature and the Leviathans, which have now left the map. This is also the first time we've ever really heard any lore to explain what happened to the Leviathans and why they left the map. Obviously, for gameplay reasons, it makes sense. Maybe they wanted to mix it up, but there's actually lore and story behind it. So the Skull Town explosion that happened sort of scared them away, and now that the charge towers have been exposed, all that exposed electricity is just something that the Leviathans don't want to go near, so that's why they're staying off the island. Now we have Wraith's lines with the charge towers. Let's listen to those.
I felt this before. This energy. These towers. I understand now. They use these charge towers to power the island for their experiments. For our experiments.
So you're definitely going to want to watch the Voidwalker trailer and go listen to the audio log in the labs to learn more about this, but essentially Wraith was the one that worked on her own experiments to turn her into Wraith. It went wrong and her partner Singh kind of went evil and did even more experiments on her, and she slowly lost her mind. But she's kind of making note of that now. She's aware of what's happened, but she also sort of has this trauma behind it and maybe some suppressed memories that she can't quite remember yet. Maybe we'll learn more about that in the future, but it's definitely interesting to see how she reacts as more secrets of King's Canyon are uncovered. Let's now look at Wattson and Wraith's interaction together.
Wraith, when I was a girl, I saw a ghost here. Nobody believes me so.
Ghosts aren't real, Wattson. It's probably just your imagination.
You know, Wraith, I once saw a ghost here. I'll tell you about her someday.
Didn't expect you to believe in ghosts, Wattson.
The ghost is real. She attacked me down in that lab.
I told you, there's no such thing as... Wait. We should talk more about this later.
I swear, I saw the apparition. She had dead eyes and appeared out of nowhere.
I promise you, Natalie, you didn't see it. Hold up. We should discuss this later.
Wattson said that she saw a ghost in the labs. Now what's interesting, we have to remember that Wattson's father worked for the Syndicate and Wattson grew up in King's Canyon, which means all of this development that was going around was basically happening right in front of Wattson, and she may have seen some things that she shouldn't have, and that includes Singh Labs. But not only that, she saw Ghost Wraith. So she was in the labs when Ghost Wraith went into there in search for Singh. You really have to watch the Voidwalker short if you want to learn more about that whole story, but she knows about Ghost Wraith, and obviously the Wraith in our universe now, who switched places with Ghost Wraith, probably doesn't want anybody knowing about that, especially not the Syndicate. So that's it, that's all of the stories we know so far. I expect there to be more added in the future, and one of the developers that works on the story did mention that as new patches come out and the story evolves, there will be new voice lines. So if you'd like me to make a video covering more voice lines that have been added in this latest patch and general legend interactions, do let me know. Thank you for watching, I'll see you all in the comments. And make sure to click the link in the description if you're looking for a VPN. Thank you again for Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Cheerio! Did you know I stream almost every day from 7 PM UK time or 11 AM Pacific Standard Time? You can catch me live right here on YouTube, so make sure you have notifications turned on. I also have a new members program. Become a member for $2.99 a month, get your comments highlighted in videos, get a cool badge in live stream chat, get access to these cute emotes, and also gain access to my members tips videos, where you can ask me for any tips and I'll be making new videos weekly to help you improve your own game. Click the join button or click the link in the video description to get involved.